What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burndown YouTube channel. We are back, baby. We are on the transmission finally. The transmission mission. I think that's what we're gonna call this one. But yesterday, I did get a chance to hook up old Betsy, plug it in. I've only got it on a 50 amp plug on a 60 amp breaker. I believe this thing can go straight up to, like, you just go straight up 100. But I think I'd have to get like a box, one of these separate boxes. I don't know if that's just a single breaker box or that's an actual switch or whatever that thing really is. I had a buddy help me with that and hook it up. So this may end up going around here, something similar to that, to power this. But I figure for now, we got 60 amps we can give it. So I figure that's at least half volume, right? We can go to 5 instead of 11. So go to 11. Anyways, so today's adventure is I have a buddy that had the little U-shaped saddle guy that he built to hold a 480. This is another 480. So it has these little holes right here, and these screw in on either side, and that allows you to flip it all around. But you'll notice he put the pivot point here, so when you slide this in, the transmission is just vertical. You can't spin it. So we are going to cut this off and then put a connection here, weld something here, so that way the transmission can spin freely, because this, not this pipe, but a pipe like that will be here. So that's this morning's goal. So that way I have a nice transmission holder, because I think I'm gonna have to assemble and disassemble this thing multiple times to check clearances between the stacks. Again, this is amateur transmission hour. I don't really know what I'm doing. We're gonna stumble our way through this and rely on my buddies that actually know what they're doing when I get stuck for help. But I figured instead of making a mess and welding and grinding and cutting after I clean all the parts and I'm ready to go, we'll just do all that now, and then that will set this guy up and we can put it over here, and then it can just be standby. So I have a work table, and then I can have the case ready to collect all the goodness we're gonna put in it. So I'll keep you guys apprised on how we go and what we do. But I've got some scrap tubing over here on the ground that I found. I was walking around and digging through piles. I think this is like some exhaust tubing or something, but I think that's gonna be our little holder guy. I got some chromoly and some basically cage tube stuff, so I don't know. We're gonna go through, and then I got a little bit of plate over somewhere over yonder. So let me run through my scrap piles. I'm gonna come up with the plan. You and I can stick it together. Maybe we'll try this bad boy today. We'll see how we go. And we'll do a little welding project, so it'll be fun to fire that thing up, make sure she runs, and then we'll actually make something useful. So let's do that, and then hopefully we can get on to cleaning transmission parts and reading books without my reading skill set. Reading skill set is very low over here in my English. If I leave comments or I write you like emails, just bear with me, you know, because it's usually pretty terrible. So anyways, let me get on. I'll bring you back. I'll show you the plan. Maybe we can stick something together. Bam, check out this fancy thing. I know, we're getting fancy over here. My good friend Derek had hooked me up with the welder, also hooked me up with this thing. I do have a drill press, but it's this over here. I don't know if you guys you've watched me use it before, but it's this little dude over here in the corner. I call it like the cubby hole, and you can see it's all messy from working on it over there. But this one is freestanding, much nicer to work standing up, and then it's on wheels. So when I clean stuff up, we'll put it where it goes. But for now, we just hooked it up out here so we could rock and roll. So let me show you. I made one hole here, and then that fits through this guy like so. Boom, and then that holds it from turning. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another set of holes. I marked it so you can turn it, you know, in 4 different, so you can flip it all the way over or halfway or whatever you want. I don't know the holes I need. I mean, I would imagine you have it one way and then the other way, and we'll have to be mindful of that when I weld it on here, so we know which way we're flipping stuff around. But it's easier to drill this now because I got this little bad boy, and you just set it in here and then you clamp it down. This is way too easy. I know it's like cheating, but I have the thing, so I'm going to use it. As where before, I would stick it on that little drill press. I didn't have this little holder guy, but we'd still make holes that way. I hate drilling holes, so this thing, I love drill presses. So maybe that's like my new thing, because drilling sucks, but if you have a drill press, it's not so bad. Doing it by hand, oh man, I feel your pain, trust me. I punched a lot of holes by hand. So let me finish drilling this, and then I'll show you what else we got. We're making a mess on the table, but I have an idea, and we got this thing cut off. So then we've got a plan of attack. So let me keep rolling, and then I'll get everything kind of situated. But I wanted to show off the new old school drill press. So this thing is pretty awesome. Woo. All right, so let's get this outside. So this thing's welded on. That was what we chose to do. I put holes in it, so that should go on the stand now, and then this should hold the transmission. Obviously, we're still a little warm. I don't know if you guys can see the smoke on camera, so I should leave that guy there. I did, however, set this thing up, and we tried a little bit, but the thing was way too dirty. So it was contaminated, and it kept giving me issues, and the thing is smoking so bad, so there's a bunch of oil and stuff. So whatever I was using, it's just crappy, dirty. So TIG welding does not like dirt or contamination at all. So we tried a bit. I was having fun, but ain't nobody got time for that. We got a transmission to build, so we'll let that thing cool off. We're done with that. We'll clean up this exercise. I'll make some room, we'll pull this off, and we'll kind of see what we're getting ourselves into. Coming in hot. Woo. All right. Let's open this up, see what we got inside. I've had this for a couple days now. Ryan was already yelling at me. He's like, you don't have time? I wasn't in town, brother. So that's what I meant by I don't have time. I physically wasn't actually here, so. All right, here we go. So, this is my pack of goodies. Oh, there's my dog Tredo yelling. So, new gasket. This is forward piston, not direct. Okay. I think I sent him this probably by the wrong deal. So, new gasket. Let me uncover this guy so we can put parts over here in transmission land. Ooh, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we saw all this stuff, huh? So, all right. I'm gonna need a couple hands to do all this stuff. But there is our pump and the drum and the valve body. Valve body's underneath. So, here we go, boys. So, he also wrapped this around. There's new seals, bushings, like this whole thing. I don't have to even take it apart. So, luckily, thankfully, he did this portion for me. So if you were rebuilding the transmission, taking the pump apart and inspecting the gears and all that stuff is part of it. So I get to fast forward through that portion of it. That's why this is going to be like a transmission build video. And mainly it's not because I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to bring you guys along and show you how far I get and not really try to teach anybody this go around. The power glide was easy. This one is not so much. And I'm outside of my comfort zone a little bit on it. But we're going to try. Let me unpack this stuff, see how we go, and then we'll get to kind of cleaning parts and look through the manual and see what's what. Alright, so we opened the second box of goodies that had my clutches and steels, an intermediate snap ring, and then the pump seal survived. However, this guy got smoked, and this is on top of the valve body, and then it got into the valve body. There's a little aluminum like separator gasket plate thing over there, so it marked it. So I talked to Ryan. This is a bit of a bummer. I may have one of these, which isn't that big of a deal, but that plate, I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I'll hear back from him because your valve body is one of the last things to go on anyways. But it definitely took a little wind out of my sails because it's just time at this point. Like, I'm running out, and then seeing something like that is like, because I don't know if it's special or specific or not. But one lucky thing though is I have that other 480 I showed you guys. So if that's just a standard little plate like this little plate deal here, then I can take the one off that other transmission and slam it on there. So hopefully that's okay, but we'll move forward. I got a lot of work to do in clearances checking and all that, and like I said, I can put all the guts in this thing before I even need this stuff anyway. So I'll keep you guys posted on that and let you know. But yeah, that's the thing with shipping, man. Sometimes they get you, and you know what it is? It gets you on time every time, unless it's something that you're like counting on or needing, and that's just life. So let me keep rolling, and we'll kind of look through stuff, maybe clean some stuff, and figure out where to start, man, because it's been well over a month since I took this apart. So right now I'm a little overwhelmed, so we'll just kind of go through stuff. Like I said, I've got bummed out a little bit there, so I want to take a break for a minute, and then we will kind of go through parts and maybe clean stuff and just figure out, look through the book and figure out where the best place to start is, and we'll just start moving forward. Okay, quick update. It's getting later in the day. I didn't even see how these are actually made, but I should have drilled a hole here, and then I can make a little piece that put tension to keep this vertical. So when I take this block of wood out, it wants to flop, which obviously makes sense because you only have the 2 points of contact, right? So we just sandwich that dude in there and did a little, and it's good to go. So I took this out and we cleaned it, air dried it. I made sure I got all the little old gasket off here. There was like some pump gasket. We got all that stuff off. This thing's looking good. I installed a no-walk case bushing because I had one, and then I went through parts real quick and I realized that War was cool enough to send me this. So big shout out to War Performance. They're already looking ahead, and I was like, I don't want to get ahead of myself with stuff, but since this thing was clean, I wanted to feel like I did something because I just have a table full of parts that I have to work on and clean. Anyway, I want to get excited. Anyway, so this is the whole kit, and then this is bitchin', and I will show you real quick. It has the instructions in there, and then there's shims, the no-walk bushing, which I have one installed here, and then they have a bearing, a Torrington bearing. So I was cleaning, and then I wanted to show you guys. So this, I believe, the output shaft. Looks like, boy, got a little heat on it, so this thing's all nice and clean now. But there's just this dog just rides in there and gets hammered on, and obviously gets a little toasty. So that bearing kit, when you put the no-walk bushing in, because this is the bottom of the case, boop, all the way at the bottom, takes up the gap, so of this guy, and then I believe this guy go away, I want to say, and then it rides on a bearing, so you have a rollerized output shaft essentially, but they have shims in there because the clearance from here, this is how you set your first stack in there, your end play clearance. So I will mess with that. Again, I'm not a complete pro, but big shout out to War Performance for thinking ahead, because they've already done this stuff. Like I said, I'm just kind of, it's my first rodeo over here, but I was cleaning that and I found some bluing, and I'm like, oh, that thing's kind of hot. And then I started looking at it, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Obviously, this is probably something that happens in these transmissions, and then that's why they have a fix for it. So we're getting the Super Clean all dirty, so big shout out to Super Clean making it happen. So we got this down, we got the rest of the table to go, and then I'm just doing it slow and steady. I'm taking each portion apart, cleaning each little thing and putting it back how I found it. So that way when it comes to assembly, hopefully I'm not completely lost. But yeah, so I'm going to keep rolling. I want to share that with you. And then shout out War. They have a bunch of other cool stuff over here if you didn't watch before. But here's a shim kit for rear end play. So there you go, there's some more shims. End play is one of the major things with these transmissions. This is a bearing kit. Transmission thrust bearing kit. So there's all my thrust bearings in here when we go to assemble stuff. And then what is this guy? Looks like another Torrington bearing in here. So all this stuff is from War, so big shout out and thank you to War. I'm gonna try to keep it all in one piece, but let me get back to cleaning. If I find any other things that are kind of cool, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was kind of neat. So all right, back to cleaning, back to Boring Town. Let's go. All right, well, I have some pieces in here. But I need to figure out how to check all the end plates. So my goal today was to kind of get the rear section assembled and then check the end plate on it. Well, we didn't really get that far. I do have a video that's kind of helpful, but I really want to go over the manual and get familiar with it. So I put this center section or bottom section together a couple times, so I'm pretty familiar with the pieces and parts that go there. So I'm going to start looking through the manual to triple check that everything's in the correct order, and then figure out how to check the end plate. So I think that'll be a good spot to start tomorrow. And then if that is cool, we can probably lube all the stuff and actually put it in the case, because right now everything's just in there essentially dry, because I want to do test fit for end plates, and then I'll do a final assembly. So I'm treating it more like a higher end build where you do it and then you take it apart, and then you do it and take it apart, versus like just trying to slam it all together and check plays and go, oh, that's good enough. So I'd really like this thing to function properly. So yeah, it's late, man. I gotta clean up still. I gotta put all the stuff that's out there in here, and I'm tired. I skipped lunch and everything, so I should probably get off the gas a little bit and go enjoy the afternoon, evening, read my little manual, and then we'll come back and we'll try some more stuff tomorrow. So you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. I can't even talk. I should probably show my face. I'm out.